Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Jay from Keeping It Real, your arbiter of gaming news and commentary, hitting you off with a studio production video where you know this is your channel, where all gamers' voices are heard. With your boy Jay, always dropping the word. Keeping them other gaming YouTubers like, what you heard? And where you always know, we always keep it all the way real. So what's up, everybody? I just want to thank you all for checking out my studio production video today. And man, this was going to be an interesting video, man. I wanted to do on a little game we call Destiny. Yeah, man, of course, like always, I'm going to link this in the description. This is from Game Industry Biz, and it looks like Destiny 2 is down on sales, man. And this is according to the UK sales so far. We haven't seen it here in America just yet, but if UK is any indication, I think this is you know, a good indication of what the sales are going to be, because typically, you know, UK and United States is not that far off of each other typically. Of course, it could vary, or we could see just a huge spike in US. You know, you never know. But I wanted to really talk about the prospects of this, because this is quite interesting. This raised the questions, did the boycott work? You know, because I think if we piece all this together, you know, it's a funny thing to think about how much a boycott would work, because as you guys know, I still haven't purchased Destiny. I'm not going to. I'm waiting until when they announce for the X and see what they say. You know, when it comes to me, Bungie has some serious explaining to do. I get it that they're under a contract with Sony and Activision, and maybe their back might be up against the wall, but still, I need to see you guys come out and have some serious support for the X. And I mean, and it better have all the bells and whistles. So before I even think about messing with Destiny, and the way, like I was saying before, the way Destiny was looking, it's not really a step up from Destiny 1 so much, so other than it being more or less this artificial stuff, not really anything of real substance of what we was. I mean, any guy who was there from day one, like I was, like even before Destiny launched, like 2 years before Destiny even launched, I was the guy that was reading all the gamer magazines, looking it up, and looking out for it, and you know, waiting for it. So I was one of those people from early on. Even when there was rumors about this game being made, I was excited about it. So I was one of those guys that was damn sure expecting it to be what they advertised it to be, and when it wasn't, that was a huge letdown. So for any guys like me, we're still chasing what they originally said it was going to be, that it never was. And that's what the biggest thing for me is. And now this thing that they're doing with Xbox, with, you know, just not even talking about what the X is going to get, whether if it's going to get 4K or HDR and all that stuff, that's just another nail in the coffin for me that I said I gotta boycott this crap. So yeah, so that's interesting, you know, prospect about how well this boycott worked. Now I want to dig into first about talking about the sales. Looks like now these sales of UK, it looks like they were saying, of course I'm gonna link it in the link this article in the description, you can check it out for yourself, and they're basically saying, man, it looks like it's 58% down by compared to the original Destiny, and that it this is of course only accounting for physical retail sales, is not accounting for digital, but if you really add it up, I mean, you're looking at a huge disparity, man. And you got to kind of think, yeah, we're going more digital these days, and also, yeah, it considers factors such as the original Destiny was released on the PS4, I'm sorry, in the PS3, and also the original Xbox 360. And of course, this launch wasn't. It was only on the next generation consoles. However, you got to think about this. The thing is about that is that a lot of those people who would have, they would have probably moved on and got a next generation console by now. A lot of those people, when they brought the original Destiny on PS3 and 360, most likely they're already upgraded by now, and they're ready to see the sequel on the next gen, like most of everybody else who already just got the next gen. So I just don't know how much of that would be a big bearing on this, as well as digital. Yeah, digital is it's ticking up, where a lot of more people are getting digital, but I don't think it would make up this 58% disparity, man. I mean, that's a huge drop. And I think a lot of that I don't think that's going to be made up by just the digital, in the fact that it wasn't launched on PS3 or 360. And also, I guess you got to factor in that, yeah, this hasn't launched for the PC yet. So the PC, I think, is going to help it a good amount. It's going to be interesting to see how many people were really holding out to just get it on PC. Of course, if they were getting it for Xbox, they would already have a copy for PC anyway. So I don't know how much of that is a thing for Xbox players. For PlayStation players, I can see how they could just wait around, not get it on the PlayStation, obviously, and just get it on the PC. Or I don't know how much of a factor it is people who are really just waiting to get it on the X. Who knows? Those are unknown factors. But what is known is the fact that I'm going to start breaking down some of the things that I think is contributing to this that is not being talked about. And I think number one on my list is the fact that since Destiny was such a failure in a lot of people's eyes, I mean, we got to look at the original scores on this damn thing. It was like a 6 out of 10. And it was really critically acclaimed to just be kind of definitely a letdown and not what it was cracked up to be. It was devoid of a story. I mean, there was all types of problems. And really what happened is a lot of people who brought it initially felt that they were cheated, and they literally just dropped off. So if you really think about it, a lot of the people who remained were a lot of the hardcore Destiny fans that remained playing the game. And I gotta say, keeping it real, I was one of them. When it just comes to playing the game, I told you guys, for me, it was more about my kids, playing it with them, and more playing it with family and friends, more than my own for me personally. So for me, it never really was, oh my God, it's so great, I just, I gotta play every bit of this every day. It was more or less just, playing it with my friends and family, and that's what really kept me on. So if you really think about it, a lot of the people who would be playing this was really a lot of the starch hardcore Destiny fans. And really, honestly, I think when it comes to the sequel, a lot of people, and I've said this before, was the people who would be picking it up would be the people who just loved the hell out of Destiny 1. You wouldn't really be seeing people who fell off of it and didn't like it that much. They would be picking it up. And it really, Destiny 2 didn't really offer much for those people. And I think that was really telling when it came to the beta. And I think that beta probably did a lot of harm than good, because I think a lot of those people who thought to maybe give it a chance, when they played that beta, they was like, nope, I don't see anything here for me. And that turned a lot of people off. And I think that's definitely one of the factors leading to a decline in their sales, because I think a lot of people who would have thought to maybe pick it up, once they played that beta, they thought again and realized that no, this was the same thing and it was a waste of their time. And I think the people who you got really picking it up now is like what I've said before, is the people who were just basically hardcore Destiny. I mean, Activision, they're trying to tout a million, current players, but that are playing it. But the thing is about it is, out of everything that you have, and you add all that up, that's really not a big deal, because you got people who are on Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 on both, and they're adding that up and acting like that's a big deal. It's not, considering how many people who already got Destiny 1 and who've already been avid players. I think really a big thing about this is that the most people who are buying this game is people who are the biggest fans of Destiny 1, and those are the people who are buying it. And I think these numbers are bearing that out. And I think this is the reason why there's a big decline, because I think from the first Destiny, a lot of people were tricked into buying it thinking they were going to get something. And of course, they tricked everybody in their marketing. They lied to people in their marketing, and that's why a lot of people was tricked. Now they caught on, and once they paid that beta, they was like, no, thank you. And I think this is the reason why you're going to see this. And that's why I think regardless of when the PC version comes out, or when they add up maybe what the digital sales is, or when they really, have time to really dig into what are the overall sales of Destiny, I don't really think it's going to surpass what Destiny 1 was. I really don't. And, and I can't say I'm going to be sorry about that, because I think, Destiny, I think Bungie really deserves, getting hit with this. It's interesting. It's kind of like one of those things, you reap what you sell. When you treat gamers like that, and you throw gamers under the bus, and you pull these little dirty tactics with shady companies like Sony, you know what I mean? Like you kind of get what you deserve. And it's I think life has an interesting way of doing that when you have bringing that back on you when you treat gamers bad, or you treat people bad, you do bad things like this. It has an interesting way of coming back on you, because I think a lot of people were suspecting that Destiny 2 was going to be the biggest game ever for this year, and it's like, looking at these UK numbers, it's not necessarily adding up to maybe that's what it's going to be. I think the biggest game of this year is going to be PUBG. You know what I mean? So straight up. But what's interesting is that, we'll still see what's happening here. I just wanted to do a video on it because I thought it was really interesting prospect of maybe did the boycott really work? But keeping it real, I think the boycott did have something to do with it. And I know you guys will be like, oh, wait, how a boycott has something to do with it. I'll tell you how, because think about this. Though the boycott may have not have had, like, when it comes to the people who were boycotting, that might have been insignificant number in the grand scheme of things. I mean, we're talking about, when you start talking about millions, we could speculate how many people really did boycott, people who felt disenfranchised on the Xbox side. I mean, you might be talking about a couple of thousand people maybe. However, don't never be delusional about how impactful a couple of thousand people could be towards making other people realize, this is jacked up and maybe I shouldn't mess with this game. You got to understand, it's not just those people who are personally boycotting. It's also the people who they affect. They affect other people around them. You know what I mean? They affect the mindsets of other people around them. They educate other people around them of the wrongdoings that this company is doing to them as a gamer. And that starts to take effect. And that starts to make an impact bigger than what the initial people who were boycotting is. And that's the point. Like, I always got a lot of comments of guys hitting me up like, man, I don't even know why you wasting your time trying to boycott Destiny, because you know that it ain't gonna matter. I mean, it ain't like Bungie cares, it ain't like Activision, none of them care. And I always said, man, that's fine, they may or may not care, but that's not the point, brother. The point is that me as a gamer, I'm gonna have the dignity and self-respect for myself to not allow a company to do that to me. You know what I'm saying? So maybe for me as just one person, isn't a huge impact, but guess what? There's other people who may hear my message and feel the same type of understanding of what I'm saying and be like, I think he's right, and this is jacked up. And they may have not even really thought of it like that until they heard my video or seen my video or listened to it. Or they may have heard it from someone else who's saying it, who heard my video, or, so it's one of those things that we're just a chain, we're a link in a chain, and that every one of those links affects the whole chain. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand that you as one single individual, you affect thousands of people all around the world just by your word and things that you say and things that you do, and people you come in contact with spreads that word all over the place. So you got to understand, when you see that ripple effect start to come into play, it could actually start making some serious impacts that you wouldn't expect. So I just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there, give you guys an understanding of how yeah, just a relatively insignificant amount of people who are doing a boycott could actually affect something in a larger scale. And that's the reason why when you're thinking that your voice don't matter, you better think again. It absolutely does. And you need to be out there saying what you feel and saying what it is for you and just keeping it real. So yeah, man, that's going to be my video for today. I want you guys to go ahead and like, share, subscribe.
This is Jay.
Content.
I'm always keeping it real, and I'm
man. Until the next time.